NIO stock closed the day at $6.02. And by the way, this is Tuesday, March 31st, 2026. I dropped a video this morning early pre-market. I think it was around 5 a.m. when I put it out there. There were some things I talked about, really positive fundamental things developing for NIO. But in case you haven't seen it, I'll link it here so you can check it out now. Tomorrow, we'll get delivery numbers for the month of March. We'll also get to find out how the guidance shaped up for NIO compared to what they gave us for guidance. I'm very curious what it's going to be. I'm much anticipating and looking forward to it. But I actually wanted to show this as well because we did get new data today. It came a day early, actually, on the FTD side of things. Now, the FTDs can be delayed by 35 calendar days. So I'm always thinking in terms of 1 month at least, extending beyond where they could still be in place. So as today is March 31st, that would put us back to roughly this point, because this is February 20th right here. And on February 20th, this is the date they were reported over 1.5 million shares that couldn't be located. And that was a day where there was a volume of only 34 million shares traded. All right, highly sus if you ask me, but this is the most recent data that we got. And it was another over 1.5 million share report that they couldn't find these shares. So this is what I want to talk about here briefly. Bullish. I can't put it any cleaner than that. And this is even in the short term because, and there are a couple of reasons. One is it's not even the fundamental stuff that's happening behind the scenes. For those of us paying attention, we know that's good. But this is what I'm thinking. The trade volume, if you look at the bottom of the screen, I've kept it on there and I will continue to keep it on there until we see NIO stock at least at $15 or above. All right. That's just real talk. That's what it is. I've been tracking it for too long to disregard or not pay attention. Daily trade volume of less than 100 million shares, having a move like this is very positive, very bullish in my view. And also, I have talked about it at length in some of my recent videos. They're not really getting much play, so I'll point it out. The SPY is being outperformed by NIO, and it's not close this year. And so today, on a day when the SPY went up a little bit, I think it was what, 2% roughly? The last I looked, that's about what it was. NIO with almost, let's just say an over 9% move and on lower volume. We've only seen NIO trade 100 million share volume twice in this year of 2026. And if we want to talk specific to this date, which is when we had the last spike of the FTD data of over 1.5 million shares, that was reported on March 10th. Interestingly enough, that was the day that NIO had over 147 million shares trade during the day. It was a big volume day. It was one of the days they made a big move. And it was also the day they did earnings, if I recall correctly. So how interesting is it that even from before the profitability announcement teaser came from NIO, this is where we were. The close of the day before that was $4.44. I mean, this is phenomenal on low volume, especially with FTDs continuing to be in the picture. So let's see what happens moving forward. Oh yeah, I want to do this as well briefly because I know that there are some people, and just off the top, two that come to mind immediately, NIO San Francisco and NIO Switzerland are both good about showing up in the comment section and letting me know that they've seen my content, and I did not see them. And this platform is absolutely crushing my views. I mean, these are really low numbers. I even did the retweet and got almost nothing off of it. So everyone that I put in here should have been able to see that I posted the video because I just wasn't seeing the numbers and the traction. And again, I did this early in the morning and waited because I released the video. It was before 5 a.m. I know. And so that would have been this time frame. This was several hours later because I wanted to wait and see the market open and make sure people would be awake, aware, paying attention. NIO was looking good. So the idea that almost no one saw it made me go, okay, let me go to a few specific people to see if you're seeing me post things. Because I would expect at least, let's say those two guys in particular, to come through the comment section, and they have not. And although a few other people, and thank you to the people who did let me know that you could see my posts, I'm wondering if these guys aren't even allowed or able to see my posts. It's just cray cray. is what I'm going to say. Uh, cray cray like tay tay is what I always joke with my little nieces and nephews. But I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on guidance, on the monthly numbers, on the ES8? And if you haven't seen my video from this morning, I'll drop the teaser. I think NIO's got a shot at Q1 profitability. And that usually, I figured that would be the toughest quarter in this year. So if they're anywhere close to profitable, what do you think about that? And do you think Wall Street is paying attention yet? I think that it's still pretty quiet. I think sentiment has a long way to go because we are not seeing big volume days. And I think those of us who know this company and have done the research and studied and, have our positions or are long, I don't think we're going anywhere. I think we're just kind of waiting it out. But that means how many more are still unaware and will become aware, as it is still very early in the big picture scheme of things, especially with respect to things like NIO being known and recognized here in the USA. And there was another thought and it just left. And now I'm trying to remind myself what it was. What was it? It was related to the, let's see, the video I did this morning, possible. Oh yeah. Q1 profitability. The thing that I'm really wondering about, well, there's a lot that I'm wondering. The only thing I know for sure is I don't know anything. All right, let's just keep it real and 100 on that. But that's also why I stay in research mode so much. But I lost it again. This is what happens when you're up at 2 a.m. and doing content for whatever 12 hours, however long it's been. Doesn't matter. Get your mind right, Aaron. Get your life together. It's that harsh speak that motivates me. That self-deprecating talk. Gosh, it was ES9. No, it wasn't that. Chips. No, because we got to go in depth about all that stuff. Sentiment. Yeah, sentiment. As we come back over here. In fact, no, let me do you one better. Let's go with this look because I think it will show us something. If we go back to when NIO Stock made that monster move back in 2020, they had a 6-month window where they went from $3.50 to over $55. But there were a couple things that happened. The FTDs dropped off, and look at the re-emergence and the resurgence of those in spite of very low trade volume. And the trade volume is really important because during that 75-day, 6-month window where NIO Stock made that move, $3.50 to beyond $55, 75 days, NIO traded over 100 million shares. That is big volume, and we are not seeing that yet, which tells me, those of us who are long, I know some people are doing different things, but I think a lot of us are just kind of waiting to see this thing go. And so with that in mind, low volume, anything under 100 million shares means, to my mind, to my eye, and my thoughts, having tracked this for several years, is we have a ways to go on sentiment fully shifting and on others really even figuring out about this company. NIO is still not widely known here in the US. That's for sure. I mean, they just announced their America entry into Costa Rica. And I'm still talking to people regularly around here who have no idea, or every once in a while, somebody will say, oh yeah, I remember that, back in the kind of like the meme stock era, or reference is what they give. So what's crazy to me, having done so much research, is this company is still managing to fly so far under the radar. And that is, man, even with all this stuff happening, with the continued ongoing elevated FTDs, with the low volume here in this year of 2026. In fact, really, hang on, let me do this. Since I'm nerding out and just going all in on this video, let's do this. This was the last time back in October, early October. This was the last time that we saw some days of NIO with over 100 million shares traded. And that's when they went up to about $8, right? But also you got to remember about the FTDs these days when these are reported. these are still lagged, trailing by about 35 days. Oh, and there's another kind of one-off here is with the government shutdowns that we've had. The data has been inconsistently reported. So it's even harder, and it's sort of clear as mud, I guess, is what I would say. So it's really hard to see. But the reality that at any of these days that we would have such low volume, like this is a great example. This day with fewer than 35 million shares traded, and NIO being traded in 3 global markets, and then however many fake shares are being traded in other markets, whatever. Just throw that out there. The idea that over 1.5 million shares couldn't even be located is crazy. So yeah, I'm just going to say it, bullish. But drop it in the comments about tomorrow, about anything that you're thinking, and let me know what your thoughts are. Thanks for sticking around, as I went off the rails there for a minute, but these things happen. And I'm probably still just going to release the video and drop it, and let's keep it moving, because I've got more work to do. I got more projects than Hurricane Lopez has jokes. So anywho, have a great day or night whenever you see this. I'll see y'all again very soon.